Is this one working? Okay. Is this one working? Okay. Is this one working? Okay. Is this one working? Repeating what I said. Hello, is this working? Okay, I think this is working. Turn my mic sound up so you can hear me a bit better. Yeah, post this to my Twitter. Okay, so right now, wow, to KDMX is probably our best bet here for best quality radar, lowest. I'm gonna share the stream with a couple of people. Sure why the quality is so bad. Interesting. So, right now, we have a very damaging tornado on the ground in headed towards Greenfield, Adair, and Arbor Hill, Iowa. So, what we're looking at these pinks up here in the top left of the screen, that's actually a debris ball. That's all the material that's being lofted into the air right now by this tornado. Just below that, there's this blue, which means there are different sized material in the air. So when it rains, that's in a higher correlation coefficient, which is like these purples, reds, sometimes even yellows. But when you have 2x4s and other debris in the air, it is they're not alike. They don't have the same width and height. So it detects that using dual polarization radar, and that's where our debris ball is, and it directly correlates with those higher reflectivity values on the top, and it also directly correlates with this couplet in the top right, which is velocities. The reds are going one way, the green the other, and when you see those really tightly together, that means it's rotating. So a new warning did come out. I'll read some of the text. So hazard is a damaging tornado. It's observed. That's why it has that darker color there. Usually it'll be a bright red. Um, but weather spotters confirmed a large tornado. Uh, Debris will be flying through the air at very high speed, so you just need to be taking shelter in the lowest, most interior room of your home. And wow, that CC drop just keeps on strengthening, getting deeper. Everybody in Greenfield, oh no, this is very, well, not very populated, it's definitely populated, so everybody in Greenfield needs to be taking shelter right now. Adair, Greenfield, Stewart is going to be down the line. See how long this warning is right here. Warnings aren't usually that big, but we have confidence that this could keep on persisting for a while. Don't try to go outside and take videos or see it because you can't. There's so much rain wrapped around it. The tornado's right here where that pink is, and all around that is rain, so you can't see through that. You'll only be able to see it once it's on top of you and bearing down on you, and you do not want that. But if you're anywhere in any tornado warnings right now, you need to be taking shelter immediately because as you can see with this one, it's putting down a very large, dangerous, strong tornado, and it can, in any storm in this environment, can do that. Yes, Greenfield, you need to be in your safe place right now. The storm is probably impacting the southwest side of Greenfield, Iowa, right now. Uh, the east side of Adair is next in line. Then after that, Stewart, Dexter, Menlo. Uh, oh, Tanner is on this storm. Just need Tanner needs to be careful he doesn't go too far west. He looks to be in a pretty good position, but this is rain wrapped, so you guys definitely should not go outside during this. Wow, this is just an incredibly tight velocity couplet right here. It's not big velocity couplet, but it's tight and intense. And you still have that insane debris ball as it comes in to the southwestern side of Greenfield, Iowa. Hey, Tombo. Yeah, so everybody in Greenfield needs to be in their safe place because it's right there, knocking on your doorstep. You need to be in the lowest, most interior room of your house, in your tornado shelter or basement if you can. This is just an insane amount of tornado warnings in this one area right now. It's this whole line is headed for Des Moines later on. This whole storm complex, so everybody there needs to be on their toes, watching the weather. Uh, but look at all these tornado warnings. There are multiple velocity couplets and multiple reported tornadoes within this line that are strong. So everybody needs to be taking shelter. Yeah, Greenfield is not a good situation. You need to be underground or in the lowest, most interior room of your home. Um, Dallas County is uh, probably going to go under a tornado warning in the next 30 minutes to an hour. So y'all just need to have everything you need ready right now. So when that tornado warning comes through, if it does, you're ready and you're prepared and ready to go to your safe spot. So wow, Greenfield is getting hit as we speak. If it's not already just gotten hit, there is just a massive debris ball. The couplet seems a little bit smaller than it was before. Not any less intense per se, but not as large, which could mean some good news. But anyway, this tornado just hit Greenfield, so that's bad. We're gonna be monitoring what's coming out of Greenfield. In the meantime, Adair, the far eastern side of Adair, northern Greenfield, uh, you all need to be in your safe space right now. Everybody up into Stewart and Dexter and Menlo, uh, Earlham, southwestern side of DeSoto, Madison and Winterset, uh, and everybody like in between those areas. You all need to be in your safe place. Yeah, if there's a tornado warning in your area, you need to be in your safe spot. And anybody who's watching, I think we have one person. Thank you to that one person. You're amazing. Just share the stream so that other people can get this information who may not have it at the moment. Because anybody in these areas, everybody in these areas needs to be able to have something or somebody telling them what's going on so that they can stay weather aware because communication is key. this link on my Twitter. My socials are in the left side of the screen. You can subscribe here on YouTube and then follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, for more frequent updates. Thing from NWS Tornado. Another tornado warning has been issued along this line. But yeah, this isn't gonna stop anytime soon for the rest of Iowa, but y'all can have a breather if you're behind around, like, if you drew a completely vertical line from Adams, Iowa, and if you're west of that, you can take a bit of a breather. Yeah. So the velocity looks a little less apparent on my radar, but sometimes my color table isn't the best with this sort of thing. Uh, Wait a minute. We may have just had a little. Wait. Okay, that's interesting. Because we still have the debris here, but our couplet isn't where that is. And up here, there seems to be like a new little, a new debris ball. Maybe handoff sort of thing. That's interesting. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I saw there. I saw that. It looks like it dies right there, the first tornado, and then a second one picks up here. seems to be dying off in the back here. I'm gonna go back a couple of scans when it looks like the debris was the deepest. Go CC. That was being lofted up to around 25,000 feet, it looks like. At one point, I'm gonna look and see how it looked when it impacted Greenville. That, it looks pretty deep right there. CC. Yeah, very tilted, but that's still up to about 20,000 feet. Let's see where it is right now. Let's see. Where's Greenville? Okay. Right here, this was over Greenville, and debris looks to have been lofted as it was impacting Greenfield, 15,000 feet ish. Right before it impacted Greenville, about the same. And let's look right after. Yeah, around 15,000 feet still. Then after that, started lowering. But we can't let our guard down still in these risk areas just because one tornado happened. There's still going to be. I'm pretty confident that there will be more tornadoes. There seems to be another tornado ongoing at the moment that kind of just broke off and then ingested the old tornado. I'm going to. What's the best radar for down here? Hardest part of radar analysis is finding the best radar to get a good view of the storm. In my opinion, it's always rough. This couplet near Maxburg, Iowa, looks pretty potent and strong. I'm not sure how tight it is. Again, at this particular time, I'm looking at this couplet from over 3,000 feet in the air. So it's not very close to the ground where the tornado would actually be. I'm gonna look for good radar. Yeah, we don't have a very good view of that one down to the south. So we have to trust our chasers on that, and it's still in an observed tornado warning, so we definitely still need to be taking shelter anywhere in a tornado warning. Doesn't matter if it's confirmed, not confirmed, uh, because any tornado warning means that there's a storm that's going to hit you that's most likely strong enough to where you don't want to be in your living room just chilling out. But at any moment, the storms that are going to be tornado warned, they're going to have the capability to within 2 or less than 2 seconds just drop a strong tornado. So you need to be taking shelter immediately. And they're fairly confident that these tornadoes here can stay on the ground for a long time, be pretty long track. So they're issuing warnings like over 3 counties, like very long warnings. But that means that it's going to be like 40 minutes or 20 minutes from like the very edge of the warning to where the tornado is, and you still need to immediately get in your safe place because these storms can change speed at any moment. Yeah, I don't like the look of this couplet near Maxburg, uh, Iowa. Looking a little bit less impressive up there, but still something we need to keep an eye on. Lots of debris fall out here. You can see right here, there's actually this reflectivity kind of bump in the back. I believe it's actually a little bit of debris fallout because we're looking at 2,000-ish feet right here, and I am going to take a cross section of this real quick and do CC. And that CC, the debris is actually still being lofted at around 10,000 feet. So this reflectivity could very well be detecting a little bit of debris fallout from that. Because when a tornado sucks up that debris from the ground, it has nowhere to go it up. If you watch Mary Poppins, you get the reference. Yeah, yeah. So, and later on, that debris will fall down to the ground. So you need to be careful because first of all, even if you don't see the tornado, even if you're like right behind the tornado or if it narrowly misses you, with these strong tornadoes, you can actually like there will still be like inflow winds rushing into the tornado at like 100 mile an hours or like over. Depends on the tornado, of course, but there's a possibility for extremely strong winds to be wrapping around. You don't have to be inside the condensation funnel to feel tornado force winds. So Des Moines, everybody in like Des Moines and in those areas, you need to have a plan 100% ready to go uh, because these storms are headed towards you and you don't want to get caught off guard. Gonna get a tornado watch place file. Looking for a tornado watch place file so I can show you guys where the tornado watch is. on the radar with all the town names and everything. So open up the place file manager, add one, copy the URL, and don't want that. So toggle this on and off, but just for reference, everyone in this giant yellow blob is under tornado watch, and everyone in this giant yellow blob of watch needs to be extremely weather aware, uh, keeping their eyes on the weather and making sure nothing silly happens, because there's definitely the threat for that today. So if you're in this watch area, you need to have a plan, a place, and a way to get there. Of course, where you want to be if you are under tornado warning is in the most interior room on the lowest floor of your house, preferably a basement or a tornado shelter, but if not, under a stairwell or in a closet that's in the most interior area of the lowest floor of your home. And if you're in this yellow area, you're not under a warning yet. This is just a watch. It's telling you that the conditions are right for a storm to happen that could produce a tornado. A tornado means that there's actively a storm ongoing that can be putting a tornado down at that moment. Okay, so yeah, that's my sister. Take this watch out because it hurts my eyes a little bit, to be honest. Okay, so that's what it is. Down looks like good inflow, but nothing really happening there. It's kind of in a big radar hole down here, so I'll go ahead and take a look at these down here, because these storms to the south are moving northeast into this more primed environment, more more basically everything you need for a tornado. There's more of it off to their east, so they're moving to the northeast into that more favorable environment. My only concern for today, like the only thing that I think could hold it back from being uh, more significant than some people are saying, is the mode. So there's linear storms, which quasi-linear convective system. That basically means a kind of straight-looking storm. It looks kind of like a line. So this is not quite a QLCS, because these are kind of isolated to an extent. Um, you can see this right here. It's not directly all congealed into a line like this. So it's semi isolated, but if these all congeal, what happens is at the back of these storms there's cold outflow, right? Like this. there's inflow. It's coming up this clear space here. And then in the back, right here, that's where the cold downdraft is. And the cold downdraft will actually choke out the warm updraft of the storm due north if it becomes strong enough. So what happened is, this is kind of what happened here, I think. So I'm going to play it back. See, this had a little bit of convergence going on right here. It had some area for inflow in here. But now, as it progressed on, this downdraft kind of like choked it off. And now it's just all into a line, and this is all messy. And warm air is going to have trouble getting in there. Today, where I'm most concerned is there are probably going to be a bunch of line segments in Tail End Charlie's. They're basically this right here. They're at the bottom of this line, right? No other storms immediately below it right here are impeding its inflow, and it can just keep on going, right? I'm worried about every storm today, but Tail End Charlie's are what I'm going to be looking at especially. And there's going to be a lot of interesting storm interactions today. The atmosphere is a fluid, so when a storm goes up, it will send ripples and waves, and that outflow pushes air towards it. So you need to be. I'll be watching that because sometimes it can just like enhance rotation. It can wrap up a hook or make inflow a bit stronger for a storm, depending on how storm interactions happen. Mergers, nudgers, split cells, all of those are possibilities today, and all of them can it can be the life or death of a storm. Not necessarily life or death, but it can be the difference between having a strong tornado or no tornado at all. Because not all nudgers or mergers are actually good for a storm. Sometimes they just push it just the right way to where it'll wrap up. But others, they'll like collapse the updraft or actually weaken it, like I was just saying. Sometimes it'll actually choke off the updraft, but other times it'll enhance inflow. So you just have to. It's less of a forecasting thing now, more of a nowcasting thing. Thank you, Eric. It means a lot. I think that's the first subscriber I've gained from this stream. And hey, this is awesome. I get to do what I love. I look on the radar like this every single time there are storms. So I thought I'd just try to throw it on the screen and explain it to some of you guys. This is my first time, so it's definitely not perfect. It is what it is, but I'm hoping I get better at it. How's it going? Blacktooth. I'm just trying to navigate my first stream. Yesterday I started working on this overlay here. It's not perfect, but okay, I'll turn it up. Is this better? Okay, turn it as high as I can. Yeah, that's as high as it'll go. I'll try to talk a little bit louder. But yeah, I'm just watching Tail End Charlie's mergers and nudgers today. The storm interactions are going to be big today, and the mode is probably going to be what could make or break uh, the event. It's already off to a crazy start. It looks like uh, Greensville, I think, took a direct hit from a large tornado just a little bit ago. So keep them in your prayers, and I will probably be posting some ways you can help the people of Greenfield uh, on my Twitter. So if you're watching and don't follow me on Twitter, uh, go follow me there, and I provide a lot more frequent updates. Yeah, so if you look here, I'm going to turn the radar off real quick. Go to one screen. This is Greenfield, and they just took a direct hit by a tornado. And this is the bad side of chasing in severe weather. This was a like very populated area, I would say. You can see all these houses. It's kind of like a giant neighborhood. And a tornado, I'm going to turn the radar on and play it all the way back. Okay, I can't play it that far back. But it just took a direct hit, like right through the middle of it. So keep them in your prayers. The radar back up. Definitely watching this cell near Grand River, Elston, and Kellerton, I think, and Benwert, Iowa, because the unique thing about this is it has the least impeded inflow of these storms right up here. You see, all these have another storm's downdraft, kind of blowing into their inflow, and ingesting cool air is not necessarily good for storms because cool air sinks, warm air rises, and if you ingest cool air into an updraft, it can cause it to collapse or weaken or both. Uh, so this one down here, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on because it has a better chance at maintaining good inflow. That is until I think that these little showers out ahead of it right here, they're going to kind of intensify and fill in this gap right here. But everybody in all these tornado warnings needs to be in their safe spot right now because these storms that are tornado warned may not have a tornado on the ground right now as or they could like it's a matter of half a second between no tornado and strong tornado on the ground. Yeah, so Blacktooth, the debris ball being over 2 miles wide is not, I wouldn't say, very accurate for uh, tornado size, just because we were looking at like 2,000 feet away from the radar, and it's going to be lofting that debris and spreading it out. It's not tight, concentrated, just like the funnel. Uh, it definitely was probably a very large wedge. Could have been like mile, half a mile, mile and a half. But CC drop doesn't directly correlate to the size of the tornado, which is a common misconception. And one thing you need to know, if you're anywhere in the path of these storms, these are some pretty strong storms. All of these have the potential for like strong winds up to like 60 mile an hour. And that's enough for you to not want to be outside or in front of these, maybe even near windows, because 60 miles an hour can rip a branch off a tree, which could hit your window or something. So you just need to be careful under severe thunderstorm warnings or in front of all these storms, because even if there's not a tornado on the ground, these can still do damage, and they're still very strong storms. Wow. Yeah, this tornado, uh, it was very impressive. The one near Greenfield, Green, yeah, Greenfield. Wow, that was very impressive. Thank you, E. I should be streaming anytime I can. It's my schedule is kind of crazy, but I'll try my best to be live whenever I can. This is my first time, so doing what I can. Yeah, and Blacktooth said this in chat, but yeah, debris fallout. It's 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 still crazy when you have a tornado that lofts debris so high in the atmosphere. It's gonna take a while for it to still get back down to the ground. So what's happening is some chasers are actually having like debris falling from the sky back over the town. So you need to be cognizant of that. If you're a chaser, you're coming up on a city that just got hit. There could still be debris falling out of the sky because it was just thrown up thousands of feet into the air. So yeah, I'm gonna point this out. Near Des Moines, northwest Des Moines area, Dallas County, Adele, Waukee. I'm probably mispronouncing these, but it's looking like, yeah, 55, 60 mile an hour winds recorded on radar, and it could be more or less actually on the ground. And ooh, look at that. This looks like a little bit of rotation, so that's what just prompted that tornado warning. Uh, for Johnston, Polk City, Des Moines, Grimes, wow, Wauke, I don't know, Dallas Center, Adele, because in this line there's a lot of shear, there's a lot of uh, basically energy for these storms to eat up, lots of moisture. So even if it is in a line and its inflow is getting impeded, you can have multiple spin up tornadoes. And the thing about spin up tornadoes is they usually aren't as strong as supercellular tornadoes or non-linear storm tornadoes, but they're still strong. A tornado is a tornado, and they're so spontaneous and fast. You need to really just be on your toes if you're in front of these storms because, like I said, matter of seconds before you could have a tornado on the ground. Yeah, we should get a pretty good view of the velocities here as it's headed almost straight towards the radar. near Des Moines, north of Des Moines. Wow. Yeah, these are some just really strong storms. You don't want to mess around with them. There's no reason to. And if you're under tornado warning today, chances are it's going to be highly rain wrapped HP. Don't go outside and try to film it because chances are you're not going to be able to see it until it's bearing down on you. Yeah. So, Storm Prediction Center has a moderate risk of severe weather in place today. Slightly edited it. Going to change scene. So here it is. Um, as you can see right here, this is our moderate risk. Most of Iowa is under a moderate risk right now with 15% hatched risk or 15% risk of strong EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. That doesn't mean that will happen. That means there's a chance that they could be strong if they do happen. And this is definitely one of the higher end outlooks. Uh, we don't often get tornado driven moderates, but it's also wind and hail driven. It's like all modes are possible at a strong level. So we're looking at a 15% hatched tornado risk, a 45% hatched uh, wind risk, and a 45% hatched hail risk. And hatched for hail means a storm that has a that there might be storms that has a chance of dropping hail that has 2 inches that is 2 inches in diameter or larger. Wind means that there are storms that could possibly uh, produce winds of 65 knots or greater. And tornado means EF2 to EF5, like I said. And you just don't need to mess around with storms like these. There's no good reason. Because these storms aren't even going to look that pretty. They're just going to be a lot of rain and maybe a tornado wrapped in there with some strong winds and hail. So yeah. So that's interesting. Seems to be a report coming out of Williamson, Iowa. Um, Says a storm chaser reported vehicles flipped, windmills on the ground, and one windmill on fire. I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. It says thunderstorm wind damage. That could be accurate, but there's no good radar to tell us what's going on right there. So I'm just gonna dismiss that for now. And okay, yep. What I was talking about, this tail end Charlie here, looks like it might be doing something. Can't really tell because we're looking at 5,000 feet in the air. This is 5,100 feet in the air. Okay, that's way up in the atmosphere. But what I do see is a great great structure here on velocity, not velocity, reflectivity. You can see this notch right here, which means that there is area for inflow. And what I look for in radar is more of an elongated hook, because that can mean it'll be a little bit less. It could be a little bit more long track in my opinion. I find if it has a elongated hook and inflow region, that they're more likely to maintain a tornado for longer if they do drop one. But there's no guarantee for any of that. I'm gonna check something out real quick. Okay. Yeah, I'm not very convinced about the this actually being on the ground here, but there's nothing that leads me to believe it's not really so. Everybody in Grand River, Osceola, anywhere in between there, Jameson, Woodburn, you all need to be in your safe spot because there's a tornado warning in place. This storm can drop a tornado at any point, and it's just a strong storm in general. So just be in your safe spot. It can't hurt. Oh, and look at that. It's not radar. It's not confirmed yet, but we have a CC drop in Martinsdale. Everybody in Martinsdale needs to be in their safe spot. Yeah, there's definitely a CC drop there correlated with good velocity couplet. And Martinsdale heading northeast towards Spring Hill, Norwalk, everyone in between. Uh, Definitely a CC drop. Definitely, I would say there's a tornado on the ground right there. Bryce Shelton's there. Yeah, so Martinsdale, Iowa, there is a tornado on the ground, I would say. You can see right here that blue. That means there's debris being lofted in the air. Oh yeah, it's kind of wrapping up on velocity here. I question how this will maintain itself, but there's a tornado on the ground right now, and that's all that really matters. So if you're in the areas that are warned, I would say if you're in Spring Hill, Norwalk, Carlisle, Indianola. Wow, these names are weird. Tennessee has simple names. That you all need to be in your safe spot. It doesn't appear that you're under tornado warning at the moment, but there is a tornado on the ground heading towards your location. So you'll need to be in your safe spot if you are in Spring Hill, Norwalk, and Indianola. Yep, it's heading towards Spring Hill right now. CC drop isn't very strong, but it's still there. Uh, it looks like it could hit Spring Hill right now, or in the very, very near future. And yeah, that's not great. Uh, because y'all are not under a tornado warning, but you need to be in your safe spot because there's a CC drop, which indicates that there's a tornado on the ground. For some reason, my velocity isn't updating. I'm gonna check my phone real quick. Okay, I think it just updated. And yeah, definitely. Still a chance for a tornado on the ground. I think it still is on the ground. Everybody needs to be in their safe place in Spring Hill right now. And definitely in okay, yeah. Tornado warning came through for them now. Uh I did spot it before the tornado was warned. I doubt anybody who actually lived in Spring Hill or Norwalk was actually watching, but That's good. Uh, but yeah, if you're in that tornado warning, extends through, of course, Norwalk, Spring Hill, Charlotte, Carlisle, I don't know. Pleasant Hill, Des Moines. Yes, Des Moines is actually in this warning, so anyone in the Des Moines area needs to be in their safe spot. Polk, Berwick, Altoona, Mitchellville, Bondurant, Halifax, and probably eventually Mingo, Iowa. You all need to be in your safe spots. Oh, okay. I think we may have twins. There's one CC drop here, one up here, and two couplets. Uh, yeah, that's pretty interesting. That looks like there may be twins on the ground right now. Two small couplets. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. There may be two tornadoes on the ground nearing Spring Hill. Okay. So yeah, everyone's just now noticing that there are twins on the ground here. Gonna take a screenshot, put it on Twitter once again. You can follow me on Twitter. I do a lot more frequent updates there. Yeah, just in the matter of one scan, we got two there. These windows. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, never mind. Oh wow. Look in this one scan. I'm telling you, it's a matter of seconds. Just there. Next scan, it's like bigger than the community of Spring Hill, the CC drop. That doesn't mean the tornado is, but it means it's just picked up that much more debris. So I'm guessing that scan is picking up debris that was picked up from Spring Hill. Spring Hill seems to have a lot of trees surrounding it, so I hope it didn't hit any structures and that's just trees and branches flying through the air. But we cannot be sure. Yeah, wow. That's uh a pretty concerning look right there. And anybody who's watching, it would be greatly appreciated if you like share the stream so that other people who need this information can get it. Yeah, wow. Um, like over 60-mile-an-hour winds are being detected right over the surface at like 200 feet above the ground right now. So that means there's probably like 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds on the ground right now in northwest Des Moines. Des Moines. Des Moines. Yep, it went confirmed after they saw that CC drop. these places actually got hit by a line of storms earlier this morning. It wasn't quite as severe or strong, but they are probably like a little bit. Hopefully they weren't, but there's a possibility they were a bit caught off guard that another round came through, and this is a round that we really need to take seriously. Okay, with this next scan on the CC, you can see that lowered CC, but it's not in the blues, and it doesn't look quite as impressive. It looks like it may have lifted, and that's just a bit of debris fallout just in the middle. And yeah, once I got that scan of velocity, you can see the rotations weakened significantly, thankfully, because that would have been heading into a pretty populated area of southeastern Des Moines. I'm glad that didn't persist for any longer than it did, because though most of us weather nerds think tornadoes are cool, they're awesome. I want to see one. They are dangerous and do damage people's property. So you need to be cognizant of that. And the end goal of storm chasing and liking the weather and understanding it is to save lives and relay information that most other people can't get. Well, to go grab something real quick. I'll be back soon. Yeah, I'll be back in 2-3 minutes. Greenfield Hospital took a direct hit. Patients were inside. Oh, wow. Yep, that is not good. Uh, okay, yep. Just Leon should be in the clear for a while. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at these storms right in northern Missouri. That's terminal radar. Okay. Yeah, radar coverage is not the best right now. Okay, well, I can't see what's going on there very well, but down here we do have this. I can go back to scene one. We have this pretty nice looking supercell here. Pretty isolated. That's what I like about that. It's kind of this merger from the top. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. Now near Canesville. Uh, Sneeze. Mercier. Princeton. Yeah. Yeah. No tornado warning, but I'm gonna keep my eye on that just because of how isolated it is. If you can see here, there doesn't seem to be much going on right there, and not much ahead of it. It looks like it can persist for a while without its updraft being impeded. But then again, there could be like a low level storm right in that clear area that we can't see because this is over 2,700 feet in the air. Uh, yeah. Okay. Look back at the Des Moines radar. Not what you want to see. Tornado reported. When was this reported? Rain wrapped. It looks. Oh yeah. Yep, right there. Uh, very messy CC presentation, but there is right here a CC drop, I believe. Mm, yeah, I can't say very well, but it's reported that NWS thinks it's worthy of an observed tornado warning. Uh, if there's a report, I think so. But yeah, it doesn't have anything or too much actually blocking its inflow right here. You can see that notch right there. It has plenty of inflow. Once again, elongated. That's sort of the same shape that I look for these storm setups where mode really depends. If you're having linear, uh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, this must not be updating. Okay, yeah, my reflectivity wasn't uh updating. Oh wow, wow, whoa, that's not great to be honest. Right here, that's a giant CC drop. I'm gonna check how high it's lofting debris. Okay, not very high storm right there. I'm going to check wider margin. Okay, it's not anything. Doesn't look like it's lofting debris that high, but this is really close to the radar, so you can get a good idea of. Yeah, this isn't even. This is like 600, 700 feet above the ground where we're looking at, which is not that much really. We're usually looking at like 1,000, 2,000 feet. And wow, that's some crazy velocities right there. Looks really messy, but yeah, looks really messy, but you can tell it's just a couplet, and the winds are so fast, it's kind of getting stuff confused. And when I see couplets like this, they look kind of like flipped inside, like a little bit messier inside. That usually, when I see that, whenever I've seen that, at least the footage that comes out of there, it's usually a multi-vortex tornado. So uh, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a multi-vortex tornado on the ground right now. This is heading towards Cambridge, Maxwell, uh, Shipley, Nevada. Not the state Nevada, but Nevada, Iowa. Story, Fernald, Colo, Collins, State Center, Fernald, and St. Anthony later on. Wow. Yeah, that's just very impressive. We've seen a lot of very impressive signatures. Wow. A couple of things. Yeah, it's doing a number on the radar actually. Look at that. That's okay. Yeah, that right there. Those pinks and reds. That's a classic debris ball. That's a debris ball right here. You can see on reflectivity very well what looks like a RFD surge. You can see that kind of line coming out through here, and the airs are surging in and wrapping in. It's ingesting this little cell right there, uh, and right in there when it's just wrapping around it. And these showers could clog the inflow, but I don't see them doing much damage to the updraft, to be honest. But that's just very impressive. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a large tornado on the ground. Uh, that could even be a vortex heading, yeah, towards Shipley, Nevada, Story, Maxwell, Collins, Colo, State Center, Farnoland. Everyone in any tornado warning anywhere in the world right now needs to be in their safe space because you don't need to mess around with Mother Nature, especially not storms. Wow, pretty significant damage coming out of Greenville. Yeah, not what you want to see at all. We I'm just typing up a. I'm just typing up a tweet for people on Twitter. Is that debris being wrapped up from the inflow there? An RFD picking up stuff? That's kind of crazy. It's keeping up. Well, velocity needs to update. Velocity isn't updated quite yet for some reason. But yeah, this thing's still on the ground. Back. Yeah, part of Nevada just got hit. This is next probably heading to mostly over rural land, but if you're anywhere from like Arnold, Colo, and then make like a square from Fernald, Colo to St. Anthony to Ziering. I think that's how you pronounce that. Anywhere inside that, I would. Anywhere inside this whole warning, I guess, you should all be in your safe place. I think if you're in like Shipley, maybe Nevada, you're getting on the safer side. You should be able to chillax a little bit. And yeah, look at that. That looks like that might try to do a quick QLCS tornado there sometime. Um, but yeah, wow. I'd say this is definitely overperformed so far from my perspective. Okay, so the couplet seems to have weakened a little bit. Maybe just wrapped up smaller. But yeah, wow. I think that thing's still on the ground. Just like I thought, they put a tornado warning on this just in case this thing puts down a QLCS tornado. Pointed that out earlier. Definitely keeping my eye on this one near Wayne, Promise City, Sewell, Allerton, Corydon. It just crossed over the border of Missouri into Iowa. Uh, yeah. Wow. Just keeping an eye on that. It looks like if it absorbed these other, it looks like it would be the storm to absorb these other storms around it if it was going to. It looks pretty impressive. Nope. We're looking at almost 7,000 feet in the air, so we can't get really a good idea of what's going on near the surface where tornadoes would actually happen. But we need everybody in the tornado warning here still needs to be at a safe place just because of the uncertainty. And this definitely has a potential. It's under the environment that has quite the potential to put down storm tornadoes. Yeah, these down here, these I think our focus is going to quickly shift down to these as this QLCS starts becoming more of that, becoming more linear and less supercellular. That's not good. So earlier, Greenfield took a direct hit by a large damaging tornado. So everybody keep them in your prayers because that it was quite the tornado that just went through there. So it looks like the tornado. It looks like the tornado kind of fall apart near Zering in St. Anthony, Iowa, which is definitely a good thing. Yeah, it looks significantly less impressive now. I would not come out of your safe spots yet, though. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Okay. I make sure my mic's working. Hello, can you hear this? Hear this? Can you hear my mic? Can you hear my mic? See if I'm babe. I think I'm gonna end the stream for